first place. It really hit me hard, I then start to question myself, is there something wrong with me? Am I not being a person good enough, And these questions have always been playing on my mind, I would say, like for many years.
Welcome to FLO Conversations. My name is Awi, a former performer and creative director turned lifestyle and wellness entrepreneur. Each week I bring to you a conversation with a person who I believe has a message to share with us as we dive deeper into the world of wellness and mindset and answer this big question: what makes a great life? Thank you so much for spending some time with me here today. And in the call, I have the one and only fabulous Priya. Priya is a wellness entrepreneur who has transformed so many people in her community towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. And apart from that, she is also a Zumba instructor and a performing artist. I better not spill too much of the beans, and let's dive straight into the conversation with Priya.
Hey, hello, Awi. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Priya. Good to see you in this show today. Thank you so much for joining me. How has the past 3 months been for you, like since Singapore implemented our circuit breaker?
Actually, it's been amazing because I think in a fast-paced, rapid pace that pace that Singapore is going, sometimes it's really impossible to pause and take a look at many things in your life. Things like maybe your social life, family, the time, maybe certain weaknesses that you have that you want to touch on. Many things can be overlooked, and I think this is an amazing time to pause everything, no work. Yes, we do work, but it's at a slower pace, and then still be able to look at these things that we've been overlooking. So it's been great for me.
Amazing that we are able to take a step back for this short period of time and just reflect. And yeah, there's so many things that you do, and if you were to introduce yourself at a networking dinner, what would you say that, what's your occupation or what do you do?
I know it's challenging whenever I go and introduce myself. When people ask me, what do you do? So usually I tell them I'm a fitness and dance instructor and also a wellness coach, coaching people in fitness and nutrition, and also have a few opportunities in the media.
Indeed, and I've come to know that you're one of the top coaches recognized by Herbalife Nutrition Singapore. You started back in 2016 or 2016, 2014? 2014, and you were 24 years old. 24 years old, so now everyone knows your age. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Really, at 24 years old, the conscious effort to be an entrepreneur at such a young age must be daunting, especially in the society that we are brought up in, truth be told, where entrepreneurship is not the first thing that most of us would imagine to be our career. What guided you to choose this path as an entrepreneur?
Honestly, I don't even have a thing to answer. Actually, it's clearly freedom. Yeah, so it's freedom because I've been a job hopper since I was young, since I started working at the age of 20. And this is because no job really truly satisfied me. So every time I learn the tricks and trades of that job and fully master everything, then I get sick and tired of it and I start to look at, okay, what's next? So I was never a person who stick in one job and then see that go through the ladders of progress that they have. And having said that, I'm also a person who's always been open to opportunities. So since 20, I have gone for talks, different business talks actually. So I'm a person who's open to taking risk, calculated risk, of course, considering the age and the number of years and things like that. So and I think I'm a person who also dare enough to take route B, like the route that people will less often take. Usually people want to go with a safe and secure route, but I dare to take that. So I believe these are the factors that also, as a form of law of attraction, brought these opportunities to me to also be in the current opportunity that I'm in, the current business that I'm doing right now, which is very exciting. And back then and now, if you ask me what is my driving factor to even want to be an entrepreneur, I think a lot of people would want to do it for obviously finance, right? Financial freedom. However, that's really not so key for me. I mean, of course, I do need cash to have for basic survival, but that is not like the main driving factor. My main key purpose is actually to give back the values to people, to keep growing the person I am, to be able to give it back to the people. So, and through that, through my own growth and through the people's growth, is how eventually, of course, financial freedom will come. Yeah.
It's amazing. You talk about giving back to the people as one of the driving force, and indeed, I think in any business or any entrepreneurship, what value are you bringing to the marketplace? That's the key to either sustainability or to growth. And I think Simon Sinek asked about your why. Why are you doing what you are doing? And Priya, why are you doing what you are doing?
Because I just want to see the other side of life. Like a lot of people go for the, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of people go for the safe route, and I see where they're at right now. I see their progress. It's like, okay, sure. Is there more to this? Is there a better side of life? So I wanna be able to challenge myself to see how far I can go, and maybe be possible to actually achieve this, this dream house and dream car that everybody speaks of, and some of these people, it just goes off as dreams, but can I really achieve it? Is it possible? So I want to, sort of, challenge myself, like throw a carrot in front of me, and somehow like just go test a little bit, see if it's possible. But of course, the eventual, like the greater reason to do things is I want to give like a better lifestyle for my mom, because since young she hasn't had it easy at all. Like since her young childhood stage to her upbringing, I've heard all her stories. Like I know her a lot, and I honestly sometimes I sit back and think I don't even know how she went through some of the things that she did. So until today, she's not a person who expects like luxury. She's a very simple person, but she wants to give that luxury to the people around her. So I want to give like the best lifestyle that she can have as soon as I can. I hope. Yeah.
You definitely will. And it sounds as if like your mom has been your greatest influence. Has she been a great one of your greatest influence in your life?
Yes, you got me there. Actually, yes, she's one of the greatest influence. I say one of because there are two. So my mom is the person who sort of, like, when you are in a very difficult situation, sometimes you're very caught in the middle and you don't know what decision to make, and usually the right decision is the most difficult decision, and she's always been the person who made that right decision, and ethics and moral is like on top of this. So that's also how I grew up, so that's also top of my list. So yeah, she's one of the greatest influence.
We are shaped by our parents, and our parents really have our the greatest impact in our life. And you mentioned that you have another source of influence. Share with us.
Yeah, she's actually none other than my cousin. So we grew up together. Her name is Jishu. While my mom is the adult figure of adult role model of who you should be, she was the guiding factor for me, or the footsteps that I followed when I was young, because she was around my age group. She's only 2 years older than me, right? So someone who went through similar experiences that sometimes parents might not be able to understand because of the generation gap. So she is someone who guided me through relationships and through education and through making academic or job or decisions, things like that. Did not make the decision for me, but guided me to think in many ways. And she also is a person who's very about moral values and things like that. So both of them like really shaped me up, I would say.
Wow, it's really interesting because when I pose this question, a lot of people would name drop big people, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, but you actually name people who are close to you as your greatest influence.
It made me think, actually. When you ask that question, I actually sat down to really think who are my influences really in my life, and I almost thought there were none. But when I really dig deeper and know who really actually has a huge presence in my life to mold me, I think these two names immediately pop up. Voila.
Being an entrepreneur, we often need to hustle and you need to grind. That's what you say, right? Hustle and grind.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you would have faced challenges through your journey. It has been 6 years of your journey being an entrepreneur. What are the challenges that you face?
Oh, Countless. Challenges. I think two key ones are facing rejections. That is definitely one key that I'm battling with till today. There's something that I need to I have grown, but I need to grow even more. And secondly, I would say mentoring my team, because the business that I'm in currently, it actually requires team growth and mentorship. So because of that, so let's go to the first one. So facing rejections, like because I've always been a person who is very confident of myself, and right, and the things that I do, and I know it's, if I'm gonna do it, it's gonna be the best of my ability. When someone actually turns up and say, no, I don't want to engage in your program, or they start and then they refuse to continue, or they have continued and they have achieved their results, and eventually they boom back to who or where they were in the first place. It really hit me hard. So it used this. I then start to question myself: is there something wrong with me? Am I not being a person good enough? And these questions have always been playing on my mind, I would say, like for many years. And this is one of the things that I dug up during this COVID period, I would say. So, and the answer is actually no. It might not be I'm the fault, I'm the reason. There will be countless of reasons why people will actually reject you, and you might not be the reason, one of that reasons. So it took me a lot of time to understand that. I'm still growing to adjust and be able to accept that, and not have huge resistance to rejections. Yeah, so I'm learning to take it all in. So that's obstacles. That's rejections. The second one is team mentoring my teammates. So having said that, I'm always in that, perfection, wanting everything to be great, to be perfect, go getter and heavy hitter, going for the top, always going for the top. So I have set a lot of expectations of myself. I think you can know that you and the viewers here will definitely be able to tell that by now. But that also comes with a set of cons, which is we start to take things too hard on ourselves. And when things don't go right or as per our expectations, we really punish ourselves too hard, and that will also create a backlash on our teammates, and both is not healthy. It's harming our own health and mental health, and it's also harming the people around us. So I have grown to understand that every individual is unique, and not everybody needs to be that average that I am, or to hit that standard that I have, and respect everybody for who they are and the abilities that they can have. Even if it's small, recognize it, and eventually my avatar is very clear. Through these processes of grooming and growing, I will definitely attract more of the people that I want to attract, and that's fine.
What do you do to not take too hard on yourself? Are there things that you do to make sure that you are able to ground yourself and say, hey, everything's okay, I'm just going to move on, I'm going to do what I need to do?
I would say certain things sometimes trigger a little bit of emotions, like anger very quickly, provoked very quickly because of the replies that I can get, and sometimes through messages you also misinterpret, right? And especially when things are already very sour or very heavy, so when such replies come, you will start to grip, tighten up too much. So what happens then is I'm consistently telling myself to don't reply too quickly, and there can be a different face or a different voice to this message, and I'm training myself now to give it time and then reply much later when I'm a lot better, in a better mood, so to speak. And that has helped me a lot, because it might be absolutely different from what I interpreted the message as initially. So eventually I understand that actually is not even what I was thinking in the first place. So that saved a lot of hardship in that sense. And also number two, I'm not exactly a bookworm, but I'm doing my best to read this book called Power of Now. Still stuck in the first few chapters, but I'm faithfully following the key principle that Eckhart Tolle, the author, has said, which is to be present. This is very difficult for me because there's too much noise and thoughts in the mind. But I actually literally through the same mind voice, I tell myself to be present. It's fine. Be present. Be present. Be present. And actually, somehow surprisingly, it works. So it can be I'm sitting with my parents watching a show, I get a message or something, I put it away and I just be present with them, and then I attend to it later. Or maybe there's someone who's always in the area that it's kind of does displeases you, but I tell myself it's okay, be present, just focus on the TV show. You're fine, it's okay. So just simple examples, but of course this can be taken to even bigger things.
Being present is something that we often talk about in this show also. We love that book. I love that book. It has taught me a lot of things. And something that you said earlier on about how you need to take time away before replying anything. And this reminds me of the mantra that I hold close to my heart. E plus R equals to O, whereby it means our emotions plus our reactions will determine our outcome. And whatever outcome that we want is dependent on what's our reaction. What do we want to do? Are we going to let the emotions control our actions? No. So E plus R equals to O. That's something that I always hold by, and it has helped me a lot, and I'm glad that it has helped you in you building a team, in you facing rejections in your business. And this African proverb says, if you want to go quickly, do it by yourself, but if you want to go far, do it together. And all entrepreneurs need a team. Yeah. So Priya, what's the type of team members that you're looking for to get on board with you?
Okay. I love this question. Okay, so I'm looking for a teammate who is the level of inspiration. Like, I'm very inspired by what I do. Being in the fitness and nutrition industry, I'm very, very inspired by what I do and the people around me who are doing it. So I'm definitely looking for someone who has that level of inspiration to not just want to do business, but to be the best shape of themselves. Number one. And number two, someone who is strong-willed, strong-hearted, who can actually overcome challenges and know that these are part and parcel of the journey. And when they stay long enough, they will be able to see the fruits of their labor. Because oftentimes people, when they have a little bit of a bitter taste, they start to, turn away. But when they stay long enough, they will know what they're working towards. And I would say people who have a very strong positive attitude and very motivated. Of course, we're all there in that society, that community, to come together to inject each other with that energy as much as possible. But they themselves also have to work on their own positive attitude, patience, whatsoever, and definitely a value provider like myself.
So if any one of you out there who ticks all the list that Priya is looking for, please give Priya a ring up or leave a comment. I'll hook you up with Priya. Okay, Priya, in this show, what I do is also I take some questions from my followers on my Instagram, on my Facebook. In fact, you touch on a little thing that I think can be answered for this question. I have this question, a direct message from Jen Tan from Instagram. I'm going to read this question. She says that I often find myself slipping into my comfort zone. When things get too hard or results are not showing, it's easy for me to say, oh well, it's not meant for me, and I will just retreat and not do anything about it. How do you keep yourself motivated to keep on going?
Wow, that's a good question there.
How would you answer to Jen in this question? How do you motivate yourself to step out of the comfort zone?
To answer the question, okay, for me personally, if I were to reply that, stepping out of the comfort zone, that means going into this comfort zone, for me is a very difficult thing. But however, I think this might motivate Jen, who asked the question. I think this will motivate him. when every single time I stepped out of comfort zone to do something, right, that drove me to a world of new knowledge, opportunities, and experience, especially, and gave me that growth that I could not have had if I were to be stuck in my comfort zone. And having said I dared to do this then according to, because I was daring or willing to take that path, then it then opens up another gateway of opportunities, probably more new things, another level up, another upgrade in whatever that you're doing, right? It brings you just another level up. So I would say, instead of thinking of that assignment or something that you are going to do, think of what new opportunities is going to open up when you actually surpass and accomplish it. That will excite you.
Wow, that is excellent. And in fact, it's something similar that I would ask Jen. I would question Jen, what do you envision your life to be in the next 5 to 10 years? You know, if you envision something that is so enticing and the pain of remaining where you are at where you are currently is too strong, then you have something to work with. Yeah. So focus on what is it that you want to. And for a lot of us, remaining in our comfort zone is so easy because we fail to focus on the possibilities, like what you said, the possibilities of what can be in the future and work for it. And truth be told, working for anything is hard. It is hard work. There's nothing to it, but we just have to keep on going. And I want to ask Priya, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, I see myself. I'm a very visual person, so I'm going to give you the visual picture. So I see myself on a beach chair, okay, facing the beach on an island all by myself, and peace and quiet, reading a book. Yeah. So this is probably on a weekday where people are very busy doing that same hustle and grind, but I have no worries about any of that, and I'm just enjoying my time on that island all by myself.
And still having money coming in the bank while you are relaxing by the beach there, right?
Yes. Financial freedom.
Financial freedom, time freedom. It's such an essence. I don't believe in exchanging my time for money, and hence, even me myself, I decided to step out of the rat race to be an entrepreneur.
Agree?
To be an entrepreneur, you also need to take care of your health, and I do understand that you yourself has gone through your own nutrition journey and discovery. Share with us what have you gone through.
Actually, I was an underweight person. I was an underweight person before I hopped onto my current nutrition journey. So through this journey, I gained a total of 7 kilos of muscle mass. Very proud of it, and I'm still working a lot more on it to get better because there is no line or limit or endpoint to it. You can keep achieving better results. So 7 kilos of weight gain through the nutrition, and but let me also say, like, a few things that I was facing as an underweight person. My immunity was low, so I used to really fall sick very often. Like, the longest I have had, like the highest number of times I have gotten a relapse is 7 from viral fever, having given medications and all that too. So that's back to back, and it was terrible. Went through hair loss, very poor skin complexion. So right now you're looking at my bare skin, which I think you can see that it's close to flawless.
Glowing, Priya, you're glowing with youth and vitality.
Thank you. I mean, to even dare to go out there with my bare face, I mean, that's a statement. Because prior to that, I was facing with a lot of acne issues because my face is naturally very oily, and post acne scars all over my face. And I also had bursa knee injury, bursa inflammation on my right knee. So that was at the age of 22. So the doctor actually told me I can't run for long. I'm not too sure how long. And so there were many very low in energy as well. So I used to rely on a lot of Red Bull and 100 plus because my background is fitness and dance instructor. So I need a lot of energy, which I didn't naturally have. So all of this that I just said, the box was just checked off the list. Everything just got better with the nutrition. So My skin, as I mentioned, as you can see, it's got a lot better. I don't really have acne that much right now, unless I don't take care of myself. And then my hair growth, okay, is a lot. It's in abundance. I can't control. I used to cut my hair twice in a year. Seriously.
Wow.
A year, and now I have to cut it once a month. And if I don't cut it, it will be like, it will be getting to my nerves. So that's the hair growth, and it's amazing feeling there. And then also my knee injury. Okay, so let me just fast forward. Right now, my best record for 10 km is actually 50 minutes.
Oh, 50 minutes for 10 kilometers. That's a fast time. Even for a gentleman. Wow, amazing.
Yeah, that was my best record ever, and that was 2 years post nutrition. So I believe there was a lot of inner recovery that has happened there, and I fall sick very less frequently right now. And even if I do, I still have energy to pick myself up for basic functions. So and that feels amazing. I used to be bedridden previously. Yeah, so all of it as a package, everything just got better. I feel so great.
Wow. It's amazing. It's true what they say. When you take care of your food, when you take care of the things that you put into your body, everything else can fall in line. What are the things that you do to keep fit?
So besides running, currently what I do is I go to the gym on alternate days, and on some of those days I actually do my own self run, like my own 30 minutes cardio before I go to the gym. So at the gym, I only do like a 10-minute cardio and then go off to my routine, because we're only given like 1.5 hours now, right? You can't like spend so much time on the treadmill. So I weigh it off in that sense, and I do a lot of strength training and HIIT as well. A lot of weights and body weight. Yep, that's what I do currently.
I just want to ask you, are there any mindset principles that you personally practice and that you want to share with our viewers here?
Okay, so personally, I do have a morning routine. So I do my best, and I'm currently waking up at like 7 a.m. Though I know a lot of like Michelle Obama and then many others actually say that they wake up at as early as 4 5 a.m. and honestly speaking, it's a little bit of a challenge for me because I love my sleep too much, but I'm still working hard to get there. And I actually have my day planned if I manage to hit that 5 a.m. So I look forward to it. So having said I wake up at 7, what I do is I get up, and the first thing I do is I quickly have a shower because that freshens you up, and then go for a run, and that gives you the adrenaline boost, because that when you use that energy post run into things like meditation. So that's one of the things that I do, meditation. It keeps it actually, you don't really feel sleepy or groggy. You feel very much alive in your meditation, and so that helped me a lot. And somehow or other, it also stopped the mind from being very noisy post run. Somehow it did that, so I've been keeping that as a habit. So after meditations, I say my positive affirmations, and certain days I have a certain like a audio note that I listen to. It's called neural reconditioning. So certain days I listen to that. Positive affirmations, definitely one thing. And I watch a lot of personal development videos, different sorts of it, a whole range of it. It can be certain interviews I find on Netflix that, it gives you that motivational boost. It can be a movie that is very driven. It can be just YouTube videos, any of it. So I watch a lot of that, and a lot of it comes from my own, inner feel instinct. So when it feels like, okay, I need to listen to something, I go on YouTube, it's right there. Plug it on and then listen to it. So that helped me a lot to get back on track, or keep going on my track, like keep reassuring the mind that I'm doing something right, and just keep going in the process. Yeah. And of course, like what I mentioned earlier, being present.
Morning routine is something that I also adhere to. I wake up at 5:30 in the morning because I want to be there, because I've read a lot about entrepreneurs, waking up early in the morning. But it does take practice. You need to shift your waking time, but also it also means that you need to sleep earlier. So for me myself, I would sleep at 10:30, so that I'll be able to wake up fresh by 5:30 in the morning. And when I wake up, the first thing that I do is to say thank you. The attitude of gratitude can take us a long way. Priya, what is something that you're grateful for when you wake up in the morning? Do you have something that you say to yourself, to your universe, what you're grateful for?
Honestly speaking, I know that many of them, especially Robin Sharma, he said in one of the videos that gratitude, like journaling and gratitude, is actually something that's amazing to start your morning with, because it drives like a lot of positive emotions and it starts your day right. However, I'm a person who believes that gratitude is something that it's important to not just have in the morning, but it's important to have it in the whole day. What I actually consciously practice right now is to be really thankful for every single thing that happens to me in my life. It can be good, it can be bad. I say thank you to the woman today who was hogging the treadmill for 20 minutes when you're all searching for time and you're only given a short period of time, but I still thank her and for giving me that chance to practice my patience. But eventually another gentleman was kind enough to then give up his treadmill for me. So things like that. I'm grateful. I say thank you to the food in front of me. Like really, really blessed to have amazing food in front of me. I'm so blessed to, be able to go out in Singapore today when in many countries they are all in lockdown. At least we can still enjoy a little bit of freedom going out. So things like that, small, big, sour, sweet, whatever it is, I remind myself to breathe in, out. It's okay. Be grateful for it. There's a reason why this has to happen and go on. Yeah.
And I want to say thank you to you, Priya, for giving me my first Robin Sharma book. You remember?
Yes.
You gifted to me The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari some time ago, and that I think that is such a beautiful gift. Thank you so much. And yes, this morning when I was having my protein shake, my mom fried me eggs, although I'm not supposed to eat fried eggs, but still I have to thank her for providing me.
Agreed. Same here. I'm also living with my parents, so share the same.
Now, before I ask you the last question to wrap up this conversation, I want to take the time to acknowledge you, Priya. I want to acknowledge you for the wonderful work that you do as the wellness coach, providing great solutions to many people out there who are struggling with weight management, and also providing a pathway to entrepreneurship if they so desire. And you do it with a lot of heart. You do it with a lot of love. I've seen it firsthand. The work that you do is indeed beneficial to so many people on so many fronts. I also want to acknowledge you for the humility that you possess in always seeking to learn and never stop learning from anyone or anywhere. But this is indeed a hallmark of a great leader and a successful entrepreneur. That at every stage of our lives or business or career, there's always something to learn from us. So I want to take the time to acknowledge you.
Thank you. I received. Thank you. Thank God. Thank you, everyone.
Now, my last question before I let you go. Priya, tell me, what makes a great life?
To be happy and present at the current moment. That makes a great life. If you ask me right now, what is there I have to change about where I am, what I'm wearing, what I'm feeling, what I'm having, this interview, is there anything that I would want to change to make myself feel happier? The answer is nothing. So I think that's key to a great life, to be present and to be happy with what you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Priya, for coming on this show today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
It was great having this interview with you too. Thank you so much for having me in mind and giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Rafi.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of FLO Conversations. It was great talking to Priya and again so much insight and knowledge from this. What I love about these conversations is that I'm able to expand my views on things that I'm not familiar with, and more importantly on things that I don't know that I need to know. And that's the value I hope that these videos can provide you. If you find that you have gotten something from this episode, please leave a comment because I would love to hear from you. Do give us also a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not done so. And share this with anyone whom you think may benefit from this conversation. Make sure that you tag me on my Instagram at Ashleynawi, and you can also find me on FB on Nutrition with Coach Avi. And this has been Avi here. Let's go out there. Let's